Thank you, Ed. I'm mic'd and everything. Okay, it's 11 o'clock and everybody's got a lot to say this morning. So how about if I say, would you please turn off your cell phones? No, I'm not going to adjudicate seat disputes.
This is yours.
Okay, everybody settled in. On page 37 of your end of life choices, this booklet. Oh, sorry.
I'll borrow somebody else's.
They gave us 50 copies. There's 2 copies in the library, and it is very much online. I think people want to have this because it's 37 pages, and they say I can't download and print all that out. But you can, because you're young. On page 37 of this, there's a rider to residential agreement with assisted living facility. So clearly, some of you are thinking about this so hard that you got to page 37 and decided that you needed Jim Clancy to sign this. What does it say? It says the facility will respect residents' end-of-life choices and will not delay, interfere with, nor impede any lawful option of treatment. Already you can tell, yeah, he's not going to sign that. Doesn't that sound like a lawyer? Yeah. Interfere with or nor impede any lawful option of treatment or non-treatment freely chosen by resident or the resident's authorized healthcare proxy. This is what we've been talking about for 4 days now, 5, including any of the following end-of-life options: hospice or palliative care services in the home, foregoing or directing the withdrawal of life-prolonging treatments. We've talked about that. Aggressive pain or symptom management, including palliative sedation. Voluntary refusal of food and fluids with palliative care if needed. We have not talked about that. Any other option not specifically prohibited by the law of the state in which the facility is located. So Jim, being a new PSL admin person, obviously went to PSL to say, should I sign this? And they said, no. But I didn't even think it was necessary to talk about this because I am, what's the word I should use? Confident. I'm not competent, but I'm confident that they don't have a problem with this. The medical team upstairs is absolutely comfortable with our medical decisions. We're talking about Dr. Patel, we're talking about Ryan, Dr. Boxer. And somebody was up on the second floor today and came back, and it is here today, is very distressed about what she saw up there. And I think what she saw up there was a lot of people in the skilled nursing lined up to watch the TV. And that's because, given the staffing levels that are required, that are legislated, they can't go below them by legislation. It's helpful to have all the residents out there so they can treat them. Maybe you might want to speak to this, I don't know. But I do think that one of the things that we're about here is thinking if there are ways in which we can prevent ourselves from ending up there in that particular situation. And so one of the things that the Compassionate Choices folks do talk about is called voluntary refusal of food and fluids with palliative care. And that seems to be an option upstairs that they're comfortable with. I want to assure you of that this choice is yours until you can't speak for yourself. And so the thing that I keep coming back to over and over again is think about this, but also talk about this. And don't just talk to one person about it. Be annoying. So Jim wrote me to say that he's not permitted to sign anything, a rider like this. And I wrote back and I said, well, I know you're really, really busy, but if you had time, we have 4 more sessions, and if you just wanted to drop in to assure us verbally, I think signed, it would be helpful. I don't think we need his assurance. I really do feel quite confident about the wellness team upstairs, that they're comfortable with our dying and that they're not going to impede it. They're not allowed to help it along. Do you understand? They're not allowed to help it along. What's that called?
Assistance.
It's also called homicide.
Yes.
Yeah. It's also called homicide, I said. Tell it like it is. And so we don't live in an assisted suicide. We don't live in a medical aid assistance state, right? We don't. Pennsylvania, no. So that means there are rules against a doctor. Even if you are within 6 months of death, no doctor can help you do this. So the one option that we have that seems to be acceptable is voluntarily stopping eating and drinking. Remember to, you guys can't turn off your watches, can you? Just your phones. Yeah, you're not supposed to turn them off. Okay, Jim Clancy might wander in. And if he wanders in, I'm going to stop everything and say, Jim, we're so glad to see you. We would like your reassurance about this. Even though, honest to God, you really don't need it. Okay, all right. Do you want to talk about this?
Yes. Yeah.
Yes, okay. It's not what I had in mind, but okay. I need some help with the mics. Is that on?
It doesn't seem to be. It's getting on. Now it
It's
is.
getting on.
Okay.
You want to do a mic, sweetie?
Sure.
Great, so I'll put Hava over on this side.
Okay. Yeah.
It's coming on.
Okay.
Thank you.
So here's my quick question. Does this form need someone a facility rep to sign it to be valid? Is there any point?
No, I'm assuring you that you don't need to have this signed. I mean, if we got taken over by, who would take it over? What would be an alternative? I think
The Catholic Church.
if you were in a Catholic facility, that's not even fair. That's not, I just think we've come further than this.
Okay.
This-
Okay, all right.
I don't
Yeah,
think
thank
this
you.
is a rider that needs to be in there anymore. You think I'm wrong? All right.
What do the lawyers think?
No comment. Sweetie, what happened to you? Are you just doing, you're doing the mic.
My question is, if I understand it right, and I'm going back with my knowledge is 11 years old, once you go into hospice, you're dealing with a different system. You are no longer dealing with Cathedral Village, you're dealing with the actual hospice company. And I don't know if this adds anything or takes away from what we're talking about.
We've got some folks in here, medical folks. Does being in hospice change anything? I would think it would be helpful. I think, sweetie?
Yes, having experienced
This is my first
hospice with Mary Ann, the hospice medical director becomes your attending physician when you go into hospice. So Corona or Dr. Patel transfers care to the hospice physician.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
And obviously, they're okay with it. All right. Andrea, anything to add? Okay, we're doing okay? I do hope that you and Joan would raise your hands like really hard if you wanted to disagree with me. Because again, I just want to say I have no medical background. I just have 40 years of kind of growing with Hemlock Society to today, Final Exit Network. But what happens on the third floor, I don't know about. Was there's, okay, we're good. All right. Good,
So should we sit down for a minute?
I think. Take a rest.
Should I turn it off?
I don't know. All right. Oh, the damn computer. Sorry, Ed. Now, I just wanted to mention, let me see again, show of hands. How many of you have a finalized advance directive? Do you have an advance directive?
Is that this pink thing?
No, that's a post form. That's totally different. Advance directive is what Compassionate Choices keeps telling you to fill out. Let's do it. I don't mean to put you on the spot, but who does not have an advance directive?
I don't think I do.
You don't think you do.
No, I have one, but it's out of state.
It's out of state. Okay, so a few of you. I just want to say, there are several places where you can download the Pennsylvania Advanced Healthcare Directive, or you can go see a lawyer. Now, Katie Commons, a lot of us see, has written up my advance directive, and it says all the things that I wanted to say about my values and the fact that I don't want a life-sustaining treatment. And then I decided it wasn't specific enough, and I used, and that's on page 26, I used this decisions for specific therapies. And there are three choices: yes, trial period, no. And they include a whole bunch of stuff, which I will hand out on Wednesday. I want to check it with a couple of the medical team to make sure that everything I'm saying is correct medically. But mostly what I am learning is that most of these treatments, when given in a life-sustaining situation, are actually counterproductive. Now, we've already talked about
What does a life-sustaining situation mean?
what does a life-sustaining situation mean? Good question. You are a frail elderly person, which means that you can't get up from a chair, walk 20 feet and back in 30 seconds. That's about right. If I got that right? Yeah. And you probably have at least one and probably two morbidities, which is to say, stage 4 cancer, congestive heart failure. Can you think of a couple more examples? Heart disease, cardiac, yes,
Kidney failure?
kidney failure. And all the treatments that are going to be offered are going to sustain your life. And the question is, do you want to say yes to those treatments? And boy, is it tempting. So this is where we started. When you're in the hospital and your family is with you and the doctors rush in and they say, do you want us to do everything we can? The answer has to be no, and it's really hard.
So just let me say, that's not the same situation that if you are relatively healthy and vigorous and you have a heart attack.
Now, let's talk about
Yeah,
that.
that's.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
Yeah,
It seems to me that's different choices.
it is. And does it depend on who you are? So you guys are getting to know me because I'm up here talking a lot. And you probably know. Let me take the other example, which is antibiotics. When we talked about Dr. Harrington and resisting the momentum to treat, one of the things that he talks about is how our life expectancy has gone up and up and up so that there continue to be treatments available and more treatments available. And it used to be, and many of you remember your grandparents dying this way, that pneumonia was the old man's friend. And what Dr. Harrington is saying is that sometimes what happens is you'll get a massive infection from a hospitalization. The possibility is you could decline antibiotic treatment. Sepsis is the new old man's friend. So when I learned about that, I thought, yeah, antibiotics, if I develop a life-threatening infection of any kind, would be my choice. And I have this notion that I'm now just about 82. I'm pretty fit, I'm pretty healthy. But if something came along, I don't think I'd want to prolong my life. I could be wrong. I could change my mind. But other people don't feel that way, which is why this is all about you and your choices. You know, you could say to me, as my son has said, because I said, if I get a UTI, no antibiotics. And he said, oh, Mom, which is what he says to me all the time. Oh, Mom. That's ridiculous. Of course it's ridiculous. I'm probably going to take antibiotics if I get a UTI, and you can be damn sure as I get into my 80s, I'm going to get at least one.
And maybe in your 90s.
And well, for sure. It doesn't get easier, does it? Yes,
Oh, here, Chris.
stay over there, sweetie.
I would say that all of this is contingent on you not being able to make your own decisions at the point of care. So if you developed a UTI tomorrow, that advance directive or post form would not deny you antibiotics if you said, I want them. You know, it's only when you're at a point where you're not able to make the decision yourself and somebody has to make it for you, then you're asking them to base it on what's in that, whatever form you've got.
Oh, that's just a wonderfully excellent point. This is all about if you cannot make these decisions yourself. And I guess my thought is that if I'm at that point, I really, really want my kids to think hard about my lifetime sense of I want to be in control. I don't want to feel helpless. I want to be able to talk to you. What are the things that are important to you this is where we started. It's like, what's important to you? Preserving quality of life, staying true to my faith, or extending my life as long as possible with life-sustaining interventions. Only you can make these decisions. And then, as Andrea is pointing out, you pass those decisions on to your kids who are asked to represent you.
Are we going to talk, since I haven't been in the rest of the series, are we going to talk about how to choose a medical decision maker for yourself?
Yes, that's Wednesday. We're going to do that. Yeah.
I'm gonna miss it. Well, too
Yeah.
bad.
It keeps coming up.
Yeah. I
And
mean, some of us don't have children.
yes. Oh, that's Okay, so I just want to finish up what I started to say about here, the antibiotics. Somebody had a question about heart disease. Anyway, I fill this
No,
out.
I said, I
You
just
did,
said,
you
you
did,
know,
yeah.
if you're healthy, relatively healthy, and you have a heart attack, you know, as my father did and lived another 20 years,
Exactly, okay. And was happy for probably
yes.
18 of them.
Actually, more.
Oh, fantastic. That's
He
the
was
other.
a tough old coot.
That's the other side of the story, and it's the stories that we hear, which is, well, Susan, listen, if you get the treatment, you're going to live another 5, 10, 20 years, and pretty healthy. Wouldn't you elect that? Oh, I don't know. Anyway, I want to tell you that I filled this out as an addendum, and I got a witness signature and my signature, and I put it in with my advance directive. And what it says now, actually, it doesn't. It says no to everything, but Dr. Skiblo convinced me that I should have a trial period of antibiotics. Okay, all right. So what I wanted to say was this form, all right, I'm back to the advance directive. And I'm available after class if there are just a few of you who really need this particular information. It's available on, there are several portals leading you to it. It's interesting to me that they're all in very large type. So they're really ready for us. And it's got 3 parts. You choose a medical decision maker. Wake up. Make your own healthcare choices. Sign the form. And it is possible, if you don't want to elect a medical decision maker, to just fill out the part where you express your wishes. You do not have to have a medical decision maker. What that means in reality, if you can't speak for yourself, is that the state, who's the state? The state picks one for you. I don't know how that works. I can't speak to that. I think it's better to have one. So you can use this form, or you can go to a law firm like Commons and Commons and have them fill it out. And what happens then is it's greatly telescoped. Katie Commons has got my wishes in a really very articulate paragraph. And because they aren't spelled out specifically is why I decided I needed to sign that addendum. And that's perfectly legal in Pennsylvania. 2 witnesses. And then you need to keep it someplace where people can find it. So I asked somebody where her advance directive was. Where is it? It's in a safe. Do you understand that that's not a good place for it to be? Who should have it? Your doctor, your lawyer, your hospital system, your healthcare proxy, your daughter, your son, your family, a lot of people. It's not a private document. It's what you want when you can't speak for yourself. Okay, Cynthia.
Are photocopies acceptable?
Are photocopies acceptable? Dan, are photocopies acceptable? Yes. Barbara.
Susan, the big plastic holder,
On the back of the door.
is it supposed to go in there?
Yes.
And where does that go? On the back of the door?
Yeah, on what? It is already on the back of your door, isn't it?
No, it is loose. When I came in, it wasn't anywhere.
Ask maintenance to put it on the back of the door so
Okay,
that you can
thank
put your
you.
documents in.
Thank you.
What is this piece of glass?
There is a piece of plastic on the back of your door, is there not, where stuff goes?
Plastic envelope, which is
Ask,
where you're supposed to put your post form.
yes, ask
And
maintenance,
also the advance directive?
yes. Yeah, it can't hurt.
Yeah, right.
Mine is open the door and on the wall to the right, it is stuck on that wall and you put it, that's where one of mine is.
Every apartment
Must be
should,
different, yeah.
don't you have a thing that says how the buildings are laid out, so for fire escape?
Yes, but ours, the door covers it,
Yes.
so that anybody doesn't know where to look wouldn't see it. I've already taken
Correct.
I can't solve those problems, that's,
But it's pretty important.
Look and see where you think it's best to call maintenance and have them put it there.
all right, you wanna make a copy, put it on your refrigerator with a magnet. You see how it's this bright pink form? All right, we need to make the distinction between the post and the advance directive, so let's just hold on a second here.
Put it in your car,
Your advance directive or your post form?
your post.
Okay, we're on to the post form. The post form. All right,
There's something over here.
It is when I came in May,
They have a copy here.
the administration took a copy of my advance directive.
Yeah. Yes.
yes. Yes, oh yes, by the way, P.S. Lisa Werman should have a copy of your advance directive. Do they also get a copy of this? Or just the wellness? So the only person in my medical team who gets a copy of my pulse form is Dr. Skiblo? That doesn't seem right, does it?
Well, Dr. Branch signed mine here, and I'm sure it's upstairs in the wellness center.
Yeah. Jim?
Mine's in my medical record upstairs.
It should be in your medical record upstairs, yes. I don't actually think mine is.
Here's somebody over here at the door.
Question.
So it needs to be, so you guys, when your apartment was done, maybe it was done hastily to make sure that you could get in on your, I don't know. You need to ask maintenance to put in the plastic envelope that holds pieces of paper. In the absence of that, you can use your refrigerator. They are supposed to look for this.
They is who?
They is the EMTs, and that's what this is about.
Somebody over here.
Yeah, Susan, you're already covering my question, but I don't see much real direct benefit having a pulse form in somebody's file in administration. We're talking about just-in-time information here.
Yes,
And if it's just in time for whom? For the EMTs?
yes,
Your door, your refrigerator, it's pink, they aren't. That's the way to go.
Yeah.
That's one place to have for just-in-time information. I know that we'll talk about this later, but Jim Delaplane talked last year about having another location with a post form carrying it.
we'll get there. The post form is different from the advanced directive in that it should be called physicians. It's not called that, it's called Pennsylvania, the C to P. But it should be called physicians' orders for life-sustaining treatment. This is not something you can fill out. Your doctor is supposed to fill it out. Well, I went to Dr. Skiblo with everything checked off, and then she said, I think, maybe, and she redid it. The doctor signs it. It does not go into effect unless it is signed by a doctor. So this is not a do-it-yourself thing. And that is a good thing because it forces you not only to think through what you want, but to talk to your medical provider about your wishes. I have to say Dr. Skiblo is completely fine with every no that I put in here, except for the antibiotics. And I understand that Dr. Patel is equally comfortable. Ryan signs these, no problem. So you've got some options here, okay? All right. Now, it's got to be signed by a doctor. The first one is cardio CPR. I don't know. You,
No,
What
it's
do
where you're standing.
what is that?
It's interference with your.
Oh, okay, all right. I'm not gonna go through this list because you decide, do you want CPR? And if you think that's the end of you don't have to answer the rest, you are wrong. CPR is like you're dead and they bring you back to life, which is pretty amazing. But do you want that? Because if you've been dead a long time, there's probably quite a lot of brain damage. Think carefully about that one. But the others are also very important because maybe you don't have CPR, but you've called 911 because something's terrible happening. The EMTs come in, they look for the pink form, and they see your choices. They are supposed to honor them. I think it's very hard for them to do that because that's not what they're trained to do. So I think I mentioned one of the things last week that I said I have rehearsed asking my son, the guy who says, "Oh, Ma," that if in fact he is called to a hospital where I am intubated or in distress, and they say, "Would you please leave the room, Dr. Weston?" He's supposed to say, "If I come back and find my mother intubated, we are going to sue you because she has a pulse form." Now, I don't know whether that would work, but they hate lawsuits. Anyway, so part of what we're doing is fighting really hard for the exercise of our choices in the face of a medical community that really wants to save our lives. And it's hard to say don't. Okay, all right. So you should talk to your person about, your medical provider, about these other things. You want comfort measures only, limited interventions, or full treatment? Antibiotics, I'm the walking exemplar. I think artificially administered hydration is, if you are really actively dying, that is a terrible thing. Don't do that. So, trial period there.
It's not just that you're actively dying, you can be very sick. You can be very sick and not actively dying.
Well, so, trial period?
Yeah, don't look at it just as, I mean, there's such a range of being sick and needing help that I've got to emphasize again, this is supposedly just if you cannot make the decisions.
Right.
What you want somebody else to do. But still, there is a range of serious illness when you get, I mean, the section A is, that's.
Yeah.
That's in a separate category because you're actually dead. But medical intervention often brings you back. So exclude A, but everything else is a huge range.
It's a huge range. Yes, thank you for
People say,
speaking.
well, if you're actively dying, you can be sick a long time and not be able to make your choices. So that's where you have to think about the moderation of what you want. I mean, there can be a situation which you say definitely no interventions whatsoever, but there can be other illnesses where there's a possibility of recovering. There's can be other illnesses where comfort measures are really important, and comfort measures can include antibiotics. Comfort measures could include cutting a cast on a broken wrist so it doesn't hurt.
Sure, yes. Comfort measures are included all the way down. So, if you select full treatment, you're sure going to get comfort measures. So that is never excluded. And that's an excellent point. Which also brings me to one other thing, which is if you fill this out and change your mind for medical reasons or personal reasons, or, me at a fairly healthy 81, maybe when I get to 85, I'm going to say, further, 90.
6.
So what do you do if you change your mind? You just rip this up, and then, of course, keep a track of who has it. All right, and you guys wanted the wallet. The wallet. I keep getting kicked off here. All right, we're good with the advance directive, yes? Pulse wallet card. Haha, I'm ready for you. You see that URL at the top, papulse.org. papulse.org. They are full of information. My gosh, are they full of information? Which I can't find, but at the very,
See where the little circle is?
at the very, very top here, all you need to be able to find this place is papulse.org. And then there's a link for the PA Pulse forms, the Pennsylvania Orders for Life-Sustaining Treatment, and there's a wallet card. So, what? You need to get some pink paper. How did you do this, Jim? You want to talk about this?
I just made a copy of my pulse form and folded it up and put it in my wallet.
You made it on pink paper?
On pink paper.
All right, we got pink paper. Hey, Wanda, I want some pink paper. And copy your pulse form and fold it up. If you want to get really fancy, you can go to the papulse.org website. There are, I think, 28 questions that they've answered. And there's a wallet form. There's almost room for the physician to sign it. The reason to not do the wallet form is because you've got a pulse form that is signed by the doctor. So just do that. Just copy your pulse form on pink paper and fold it up and put it in your wallet. You can put it on your dashboard. Is that where you want it? The glove compartment. Do they look in the glove compartment? I don't know. How are we doing? Okay? Questions?
This is just a practical one. Who printed these?
Wanda.
So we could go to her and ask for pink paper instead of trying to borrow 2 sheets from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Louise has something.
Also, when you get the pulse form signed, you could consider having your physician sign 2 copies. So you have a copy to take with you and a copy for your apartment.
There you go.
Hi, I just wanted to say that I've been taken to the hospital twice. No one has ever looked at taken my pulse form, number one. Number two, in the ICU, it is not uncommon for people to change their minds. In fact, that happens quite frequently. So,
Who changes their minds? The patient or the family?
both,
Okay.
mostly the patient.
Okay. So when the doctor says, do you want us to do everything, you say, actually, yes, I do.
Yes, that I do. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So that's pretty much disregarded.
That's very reassuring.
Yeah. Okay. Also, for the back of your door, it's also very helpful to put your list of medications so that if you're taken to the emergency room and there's no one around, they can sort of tell what your problems are.
But
Oh.
I thought you said nobody looks at the forms.
No, but if.
No, if they take them, yeah.
Well, if they don't take them.
If they don't take them, it's no
I
good.
had the addresses of all my contacts,
I know,
everything.
I know,
But if
I
they
know.
do.
So are you speaking from experience?
Not me.
Okay.
No.
Okay, just checking.
If you wanted to be absolutely sure, just tattoo your chest. It sounds funny, but if you want to be close to sure, do not resuscitate or pulsed form in pocket or something like that. But then the mind changing becomes less easy to do. But that would be it. Everyone's trying to think of an absolute way.
Right.
Would be the closest to absolutely sure.
You want to say anything, Andrea? Okay.
I'll tattoo anybody.
What?
What font?
To me.
Let's move on from that to chess.
I don't think one last thing I wanted to mention came up last year is, if you fall in the dining room,
They can't.
security is required, okay, and I have confirmed this with Josh, it is required to call 911. You can't say, don't call 911, I've got a pulse form, they gotta call 911. The pulse form is for the people who come from 911. And then, so Josh did tell me that if you manage to sort of get up, or if they help you get up and you can demonstrate you're perfectly fine, you just tripped over the goddamn rug. You might be able to convince them you really don't need to call 911.
Yeah, security told me that if you're able to get up on your own, they don't have to call 911.
That's great, that's
How
great.
much you can verbally say, roll on your side, push your hands up, put your knees, grab onto a chair, stand up. You can talk them into getting up on their own, but you don't touch them. I think that's okay.
Who's the you in that case?
Well, it would be me,
Staff.
but you should. A friend.
So a friend is helping you get up, Elaine, is that what you're saying?
Verbal, only verbal, not touching.
Oh, wow, I wanna help.
Am I hearing this correctly? Am I hearing that we already know that staff are prohibited from helping you get up in the absence of calling 911? It had been my impression that any of your buddies could come help you get up. That certainly does not infringe on any staff protections, legal protections. So am I being told now that they're gonna call 911 even if your friends are physically helping you get up?
As a nurse, I'd say that's questionable because you don't know if their back is broken or not, whether you should be helping them get up. But if you talk to them and it hurts them too much to get up, you know that you have to call 911.
What I see is that there's a cohort of us with like some certainty. And I just think that's not possible. You can't have it. Yeah. I want control and I want certainty. I think this part of life just doesn't give us that. Karen?
With all these forms, aren't you trying to instill certainty which you can't provide anyway?
With all these what?
These forms.
Forms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if I have an advance directive that says don't do any unnecessary stuff to keep me alive, that should be enough. I mean, because you can't put on a form all the eventualities that could happen.
That's right. Does that mean you should not do it? It's a big nuisance. Maybe we should just forget about it.
Well, just maybe a deal breaker, but our physician, who was an eminent family practitioner at the University of Pennsylvania, refused to sign it. He said, read it over, look at it, consider all the eventualities. No, I'm not signing this.
He wouldn't sign the pulse form?
No, I wouldn't convince him either he was right. He said, look at it, he said, consider everything that could happen. You're telling somebody not to save your life. And initially you are.
That's exactly right.
He wouldn't subscribe to that.
Well, if you feel strongly about that, maybe you should have another doctor.
He's a breaker.
So he's putting, this sounds like a philosophy of putting save your life above do no harm.
Ooh.
Do you think they compete?
No, in this case.
Well, and I do think the folks who have pioneered this end-of-life movement are doctors who get to the middle of their careers. Atul Gawande, Sam Harrington, there's a bunch of them who say, you know, I don't think that we're doing this right. You know, he talked about that, Dr. Gawande, and you've probably all of you have read Being Mortal, where they just take life-sustaining treatments too far. And then we observe this in people a little older than us, or maybe not so much older than us now. We observe it and we say, I don't want that. Or the other thing we don't want is we don't want to be on the third floor sitting in front of the TV set. Is there a way to avoid that? So then I'm back to mind control. And I just think there aren't any answers. I really don't think there are any answers. So, okay.
I would just say that differently. I would say that there are multiple right answers, and the right answer is the one that you choose for yourself. There is not one right answer, there are multiple. And Sue may have one very strong perspective, and other people may have a different one.
I'm actually perfectly reconciled to spending 6 years staring at the TV. Both my mother and my grandmother did that.
Wow.
I have to say, at 96, I've decided 4 more years, I'm going for 100.
Okay, Barbara.
When you bring up sitting in front of the TV, Bishop White Lodge, you bring up another entire discussion. It has nothing to do with the pulse form. I mean, I think one issue is that, and I might have to have a lawyer correct me on this, that there supposedly a regulation that says you can use no restraints in skilled nursing. Well, I mean, what is a restraint? And there are people that are put in front of the TV because they say, well, they might fall out of bed. And there are people who are cognitive, don't want to be in front of the TV, and would be perfectly okay with a bed rail on their bed. So I think you get into a whole different thing. I personally, I mean, medically, I think it's absolutely ridiculous that you cannot have a bed rail on a bed. And so that is part of the reason people are in front of the TV.
What's this about a bed rail?
That they're, in a hospital, you have bed rails on your bed. In a skilled nursing facility, you are not allowed to have restraints, and a bed rail is considered a restraint.
Yes.
And I told you I need a legal opinion on this.
Louise is absolutely right. We had a friend who was very prone to falling. At one point, they were able to use seatbelts on the wheelchair. They couldn't use the seatbelts anymore, which put her at greater risk of falling. It is crazy, in my humble, non-legal opinion.
Well, I medically agree with your legal opinion.
In some hospitals, there are no guardrails. My husband was in one, and no guardrails, and there was a real problem about it.
Okay, I think we have exhausted every dimension of this.
Sorry, I asked the question.
Tomorrow, Dan Ross and John Cunningham are going to talk about something totally different, which is when you're not here, somebody's going to take care of all the stuff you left behind. What does your executor need to know? What does your executor need to have? What do you need to put in place?
It'll be more than that. It also will include documents in the importance, for example, the power of attorney and things like that. So it won't be just limited to your executor.
Thank you. Okay.
And they're very important decisions you make now. In another presentation I did, I called my part opportunities and pitfalls.
Opportunities and pitfalls. And John Cunningham's version of that is what could possibly go wrong. I just love that. What could possibly go wrong? Diane.
I have one last question about this, the pulse. Is it mandated that we fill it out?
Absolutely not. No.
And do you know how well-known this is in Pennsylvania? Like, do EMTs even are being trained to look for it?
The EMTs are trained to look for it. The EMTs are trained to look for it. I think it's not guaranteed that they'll look for it, and I don't think they look very hard. So
I mean, just let me say, and when I've occasionally once I had EMTs called to my apartment for somebody who was actually a guest, and, they open the door, the pulse form's on the back of the door, they bring their equipment in, they never shut the door while they're in there.
okay, so they didn't see it, didn't look for it.
It wasn't relevant in this case,
Yeah,
but.
yeah. Which is a good reason to put it on your fridge, Joan? What do you think? Where should the pulse form be?
On the back of the door, that's our back of the door.
But if they rush in and they don't look for it,
Tattoo.
what?
Tattoo.
Well, we're back to you're not gonna be able to control everything.
Right.
I mean, this is a human society, we're not gonna be able to control everything, right, Mark? We're not gonna be able to control everything. But I think you do as much as you can. So tomorrow is the lawyer's chance to tell us what else we need to do to get our act together in preparation for our end. And then Wednesday, we're going to revisit the issue of choosing your medical surrogate, also known as your medical proxy. And I think that's a really important, it's an important choice, an important discussion.
My document even says medical power of attorney.
Yes,
Right.
yes, medical power of attorney, medical surrogate, medical proxy. What is it called here? Surrogate. Oh, I forgot that one. So on the post form, the signature of patient or surrogate. So.
Or healthcare agent.
Or healthcare agent. How do they have so many names? So this is a form that can be filled out when you can't speak for yourself. And I guess would supersede, wouldn't it? I mean, if you've elected no, and your healthcare proxy says, you know what? I think my mom probably changed her mind. Can he? I think he can. Okay, this is another yield control, Susan, yield control. Okay.
Thank you.